Michelle, it's such a cruel twist of fate for her, the all-time Catholic League scoring championship. How does this hurt Tennessee?
Well, there's no question. The All-Americans, Randall and Catchings, have to rally around an injury. Either that or you let it get to you. But this Tennessee team, they're not here for just one player. And I think it's important that everybody kind of step up, and we'll see what they're made out of.
Snow controls the opening tip. This is Kara Lawson, the freshman point guard from Alexandria, Virginia. Both teams play excellent defense. Randall forced it up. It's out of bounds with 7 on the shot clock.
The one thing that both coaches talked about in practice yesterday was being aggressive, attack, because Tennessee in the game against Rutgers in the first half was a little tentative. They played on their heels.
Saved by Catchings, but she threw it right to Connecticut. Here comes Sue Bird on the run for the Huskies. Pull-up jumper, and Sue Bird has the game's first 2 points. And here's that press.
Sue Bird is the type of player, she sees the whole court. When she's dribbling, right-handed or left-handed, she keeps her head up and she sees the whole floor.
Kyra Elzy, that was, oh, that looked like it was touched, and now they will correct the call. It was touched, so it is not a backcourt violation.
Good call. Sue Bird, only a sophomore, going against Kara Lawson, the freshman. There you see Sue Bird on the offensive end. Nice crossover dribble. You like to see that with players today. So many kids go between their legs, and sometimes you lose an art as far as how to play the ball back off the crossover.
Snow triple teamed in the post. She'll shoot it anyway. And the rebound goes to Kelly Schumacher.
In the first 2 meetings, Paige Sauer was the starting center for Connecticut. Kelly Schumacher now starts.
Swin Cash made a great catch on that pass, but couldn't convert. Snow this time at the high post, 15-footer. Schumacher, another rebound. This is a Abrosimova, great in the open court. Shea Ralph. All-Americans everywhere you look on this floor. Abrosimova lost the dribble on the way in. Bird, an amazing outside shooter. So is Abrosimova. Drilled it. On the season, Abrosimova shoots 40%. Lawson with a runner. Rattles out. Snow powers back the rebound.
What a tough play by Michelle Snow. Tennessee establishing their inside game right away. They're going to Michelle Snow, but you can see Connecticut double and triple team her right away. Gino Ariema said coming into this game, boards are going to be a difference because Tennessee is so good at rebounding.
Catchings will be called for a hold, trying to keep Swin Cash out of the low post.
Talk about pressure on the offensive end. Connecticut trying to go inside. You see the defense collapsing, and they kick it right back up. Connecticut players are so good at spotting up. Abrosimova right open for the three-pointer.
And in the tournament, Connecticut is shooting 51.5% from three-point range. Wide open Schumacher. Somebody must have set a great screen. There was nobody within 6 feet of her for the layup.
You talk so much about the All-Americans, and they should and need to have big games, but it's its role players that are going to have to step up.
Lawson trying to penetrate, got caught up in the air and threw it away. Abrosimova stabs it with one hand, hustles down. That was a tough pass trying to get it back inside, knocked out by Tennessee.
Once she was in the lane, she needed to take the shot, but defensively, this Connecticut team does so much in the tournament.
17-20 to go. Early in the ball game, 7-2 UConn. UConn and Tennessee have met 3 times in the NCAA tournament. First in the '95 National Championship as the Huskies completed a perfect 35-0 season, winning their first title. 1 year later in the NCAA semifinals, it was payback time. And 2 days after that, Pat got title number 4. 1997 was a 10-loss year for the Lady Vols, but beating UConn in the regional finals ignited their unlikely run to the championship.
And both those teams had good guards.
Shea Ralph, great double clutch move, wouldn't go in for. Offensive rebound goes to Tamika Williams. And Tamika Williams has been sensational in the tournament. Averaged 10 points and nearly 5 rebounds a game. Randall has that one spin out. Abrosimova loose ball.
Connecticut on the offensive end, when their defense, they come up with steals, they get some defensive rebounds, they're going to get on the running end of the game, and that's how they get their offense going. Michelle Snow getting caught for the reach in up high. She's got 1 block. She had 7, a tournament record against Rutgers the other night, 7 block shots.
Tennessee has hit only 1 of its first 7 shots. UConn 4 of 7.
And the bench is so important because for Connecticut, they averaged 32 points and 16 rebounds off the bench with their opponents 13 points, 7.7 rebounds.
Great for Connecticut there as Williams got the loose ball, but a whistle before the shot. And it's going to be an offensive foul against UConn. And Tamika Williams picks up her first.
This Tennessee team, the players might have to get a lot of minutes under them, but they're used to adversity. Every night in the SEC in their conference, they have to play hard every night. They come to play because they are Tennessee and everybody wants to play well against them. So they have to be prepared.
Lawson, good job against the press. This is Catchings. Baseline to Randall, partially blocked by Schumacher. Snow with a follow. They just can't get it to fall. They've gotten good looks. Another block by Schumacher. Here comes Sue Bird, one-on-one with Lawson. And Bird out-hustles everyone for the ball.
She did everything right except use the backboard on the shot.
Abrosimova stripped by Lawson on the way in. Bird is back, 2-on-1. No bucket, but a foul. Randall went down hard.
Samika Randall struggled in the last game against Rutgers, but here's a nice steal by Carol Lawson. 2-on-1 break, splitting the defense. Randall loves playing against Connecticut. She was recruited by Connecticut. You see Ace Clement cheering her team on, and in the last four games, she has scored big time for this Tennessee Vol team, but she's got to come alive. She's kind of been subdued this year. She's not like that court-popping type player she was as a freshman.
Randall, excellent free throw shooter, makes them both. And Tennessee finally gets on the scoreboard again. They're down 9-4.
Pat Summitt talked about this Tennessee team taking care of the basketball and transition defense. Now they're going to set up their own little trap to make Connecticut try and turn the ball over, at least take some time off the shot clock.
Asia Jones in for the first time Connecticut. She has been so valuable coming in off the bench. And we've got an elbow foul called on Tamika Williams. That will be her second. And it got a wry smile out of her.
Williams missed 6 games earlier in the season because she had a screw foot in her foot, and she was just coming back after that first Tennessee game where Connecticut did win. She didn't do much in that game, but the second game she had 19 points.
Lawson running the club, the freshman.
And that's the first time Catchings has touched the ball in the offense.
Lawson, 16-foot jump shot, won't go. Good box out by Shea Ralph.
Connecticut is really doing a good job getting a body on Catchings. They're just finding that number 24 and keeping her off the board.
And that rebounding is what they've really been worried about against this club. Lawson almost got another steal against Bird. Abrosimova, shot clock at 5. She launches a 3. It's short. Lawson with a rebound. Quick outlet. LZ. She missed it under pressure from Shea Ralph. The follow from Randall won't go. Tennessee's had some good looks inside. They've rushed them, it appears. Asia Jones, excellent shooter, and she buried that one.
Connecticut getting really good looks, not forcing things. Tennessee, on the other hand, as you said, kind of in a rush right now. When the ball doesn't fall in the beginning, sometimes you have a tendency to think, okay, I've got to get up another quick shot. And then you kind of, the ball just kind of, it snowballs for you.
Snow against Jones inside. Abrosimova trying to help, but a little jump hook by Michelle Snow, who was criticized earlier in the year for falling away on a lot of her shots and not taking advantage of her height inside. Little backdoor cut, Shea Ralph. Pretty play, one of the oldest plays in basketball. And Shea Ralph with a steal from Elsie. Shea Ralph, the Big East Player of the Year. Asia Jones. Got it. Sometimes she doesn't look like she really has control of the ball, but the touch is always there.
Always there. Asia Jones, only a sophomore. Last year she was all tournament out of New Jersey, so not too far away from Pennsylvania.
Lawson says calm down, and that's what they have to do, trailing 15-6. Randall trying to get something started. Another force. Snow didn't get the follow. Good play by Ralph to knock away the loose ball and come out with it. 3-on-2. She tries to get to the middle. Sue Bird. One of the rare misses she's had outside, and this one is off to Mika Williams.
Sue Bird, one of the things that Tennessee talked about is stopping her on the penetration. Here you see Shea Ralph getting the nice pass, getting to the baseline, and then Asia Jones just backing away and catching, staying out of foul trouble. But the nice shot. Connecticut doing a good job executing on the offensive end. There's Shea Ralph, who was Big East Player of the Year this year.
UConn so far, 7 buckets from 6 different players. They just go so deep. Shea Ralph reaches in, almost got another steal. She does get a tie-up, and the possession arrow will give it to the Huskies. She took it away from April McDivitt.
That was Shea Ralph's mom, Marcia Mann, who was a pretty good ball player at North Carolina. But yesterday in practice, Pat Summitt talked about treat the ball like it's a pot of gold. Connecticut has such great hands, they deflect everything, and Shea Ralph did it right there.
Kenitra Johnson, number 23, is in for the first time. Great entry pass to Swin Cash, and she couldn't handle it. That was an easy 2 for UConn.
Connecticut is doing a good job in the half-court game, spreading their perimeter players to get the ball inside, and Sue Bird.
Looks like she hurt her left hand.
And she got banged in the Penn State game in the beginning of that game, too, and put a patch on that elbow. It was right back in there.
Another loose ball. Bodies fly. Abrosimova and Catchings really cracked together.
And Johnson got away with a double dribble.
Double team down low. Asia Jones over Michelle Snow. Doesn't get the roll on it. Lawson gets an awful lot of rebounds.
Tennessee is trying to be aggressive. That's great. But they're just forcing the issue.
It's a 3-on-0 break, and Abrosimova did a great job of screening off the last possible defender, McDivitt, and it's 17-6. UConn on a tremendous run at the start of the ballgame.
Tennessee on the offensive end, whether they're trying to push it and make it a full-court game or in the half-court game, they need to be patient in the offensive side. They're not getting the shots inside. So when you come inside, look to kick it back out, but somebody's got to spot up.
And certainly Connecticut's defense has a lot to do with it. McDivitt, an excellent shooter. Lawson trying to penetrate, misses a runner, and it's one and done again for Tennessee.
Well, the other nice Ace Clinic knocked down a couple threes against Rutgers that really opened things up, but she was on the bench most of the first half with 7 fouls.
Another loose ball, this time a steal for Tennessee. McDivitt, great pass ahead to Randall, and she's fouled. What a bullet pass by McDivitt.
Well, right beforehand, there was a scramble on the floor, but looked like a nice block from behind, and Tamika Randall's got to be grateful. Puts herself at the free throw line because she's struggling from the floor. This is Sue Bird squeezing that right hand.
Randall was the Mideast Regional MVP and for the second straight year voted the best defensive player in the country. Schumacher will come back in for Asia Jones, and Bird, as we said, back on the floor.
The biggest thing for Shamika Randall that I see this year, and in the last 2 years, especially when Shamika Holtzclaw was there, she had fun. She was smiling, she was laughing. She's pretty intense right now, and there's nothing wrong with being intense, but she's got to loosen up and enjoy herself.
She missed the second when Snow gets the offensive rebound, and Gwen Jackson is in for the first time. She's number 13, as Pat Summitt trying to match bench strength, and then Randall with a poor entry pass throws it away. Tennessee looking a little unnerved right now. Swin Cash did a great job with her body. She got the hip into the defender, gave herself a little room, and put it up and scored. 19 points for Connecticut in the first 10 minutes.
Nice little pump fake. In the first 2 Tennessee games, she was in foul trouble most of those games. She didn't have any rebounds the other night against Penn State. She's come to play.
Lawson still hasn't hit a shot. She rims out on this. 0 for 5 and an 8-0 run for the #1 Huskies of UConn. Swin Cash got the last 2. It's 19-6. Back to Philadelphia, the national championship game. Here's the storyline. Tennessee's 5th title game in the last 6 years. They missed a season ago. Connecticut's first since '95 when they went undefeated and won the title. And the series history 5-5. Annie, it's amazing. This has become such a huge rivalry, and they've only played 10 times in history until tonight.
Well, it really has, and Tennessee has created every rivalry. In the 80s, it was Louisiana Tech.
Right.
In the 90s, it was Stanford. And then in the middle 90s, it became Connecticut. And Connecticut being an East Coast team and being so close to ESPN and the East Coast writers in New York, I really think that 95 really helped women's basketball.
Well, the rivalry is going to take a beating tonight if Tennessee doesn't start shooting the ball better.
Well, I tell you, that halftime speech, though, by Pat Summitt will be pretty impressive.
Right now, I bet you can't wait to get there. They have hit 2 of 18 shots. Snow tries to get inside, had it knocked away.
Well, the biggest thing, too, for this Connecticut team, they are doing such a great job on the defensive end. Active hands, they're deflecting passes, they're coming up with steals. But I think Tennessee's got to do a better job trying to set up their All-Americans. Catchings has got to get involved in this game. She can just not disappear.
McDivitt has this one knocked out of bounds. 9 to shoot. Randall will come back in, and Lawson will get a breather. It'll be interesting to see how they do with ball handling with her out of there. Pat Summitt's got to give her some rest.
Lawson was really surprised she came out.
Jackson, again, another forced play. But there is a foul inside.
You know, we talked about the depth of this team for Connecticut, and, you know, Gino Auriemma's got 2 big bodies, Paige Sauer and Christine Rigby at 6'5" and 6'6", that can give up fouls if they really want to bang against Michelle Snow.
Last foul on Abrosimova. That was her first. And the junior from St. Petersburg, Russia, will sit down. And the UConn bench been sensational all year long. Snow. Little fadeaway. Offensive rebound to Jackson. Trying to get away from the double team. That's tipped. McDivitt and Bird hustling. Bird ends up with it. Look at the hustle on both Connecticut and Tennessee, and now we get a little pushing and shoving.
Well, Kenitra Johnson coming up just banging Samika Randall, and the Connecticut fans, if they recall from last year in the game back in Connecticut, that Abrosimova and Randall got caught up on the floor. There you see Bird and McDivitt and Randall come, and then Johnson's going to come down too, but Abrosimova and Randall got tied up, and Abrosimova got kicked. And so all the fans were calling her boo every time Randall touched the ball, and Bill Cosby, one of the fans here in Philadelphia, saying, no, a little bit too rough, ladies.
Well, Gino Auriemma was all the way out to half court on the sidewalk. He was really upset. This one is knocked away again. Schumacher got a hand on it. Connecticut doing a brilliant job on defense. Asia Jones goes by Jackson. Tried it with a left hand and couldn't hit it, and Jackson with a rebound.
And this is what Tennessee needs more of. They need defensive rebounds, but Connecticut's shooting the ball so well that Tennessee can't get the rebound.
And they are desperate to find somebody who can put the ball in the basket. This is a team that averages 80 points a game. They have 6 so far.
Now that's a tough call. I was watching Michelle Snow set picks. Catchings came right off her. They called a block on her, moving pick. That's a tough call on Michelle Snow. I thought she had good position.
That is 2 on Michelle Snow.
And that's one player that they cannot afford to foul out of the game with her size inside. Shalon Pillow will come in as a sub for this Tennessee team at 6'3", but doesn't have the presence that Michelle Snow does inside.
And certainly not the offensive threat that she is. Loose ball. Asia Jones tries to save it and does. Bounces it off a Tennessee player. UConn will get the ball back with 12 on the shot clock. 7:52 to go first half. UConn up by 13.
Welcome back to Philadelphia. I'm with a man whose name is synonymous with Philadelphia, Bill Cosby, a huge women's college basketball fan, by the way.
And you've heard of offensive runs. This is one of the longest defensive runs I've ever seen. They are stopping them cold. I mean, that ball's going in, and when it goes in, it comes out going this way towards the Connecticut offensive backboard. It's really wonderful. I'm interested in what Pat's going to do about this.
Who are you rooting for?
A good game. A good game.
Hopefully it gets
and
better.
This is a wonderful game so far.
So far it is. And you even gave up your seat so I could sit in it.
I gave it up.
I'm going to give it back
to a wonderful lady.
You're very nice. Let's send it back to, you say back to Mike and Ann.
Back to Mike and Ann. Yes.
Perfect.
Where's Ann? I saw her. She played against me, and she stopped cold.
She's a defensive juggernaut.
We did play against each other.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Mr. Cosby. Sue Bird got the last foul in the ball game.
How about Tennessee has not scored in over 6 minutes, 2 of 10 from the floor.
And they still can't. Offensive rebound, and we have a foul underneath. Here who has not scored in this ball game. Lawson and Catchings have 0. Randall has only 2. And we have 7.5 minutes to go in the first half. Now Pillow is in. She'll go to the free throw line. She's only a 53% free throw shooter.
Tennessee trying to get the ball inside so much and trying to get the boards, but again, Connecticut doing a great job boxing out, and it's frustrating Tennessee as far as their inside play. What Tennessee needs to do maybe a little bit more is look on the outside to shoot some threes. They have not shot a three-point shot. They shoot 37% from three-point range and shoot about 13-14 during the season.
Pillow, a sophomore, backup center, hits them both. Tennessee has 4 free throws and 2 field goals in this ball game. And here's full court pressure by the Lady Vols. Bird does such a good job handling it. Ralph. Sue Bird from three-point range off. She's shooting 49.4% on the year from three-point range.
Connecticut does such a great job on the offensive end. They get rid of the basketball before the defense can even come at them. By that time, the defense is still shifting towards the person that has the ball. By the time the ball goes to somebody else, that defense can't get there quick enough.
Shea Ralph called for the personal, her second, and that will send April McDivitt, the freshman from Connellsville, Indiana, to the free throw line.
Even though Sue Bird is missing a few shots right now for the Huskies, all year long, Gino Auriemma has talked about role playing, how these players have played roles. Sue Bird may be the MVP of this team. Shea Ralph was Big East Player of the Year. In the East Regional Tournament, Svetlana Brosimova was MVP. Everybody has accepted a role.
Great skip pass. It gets them a 2-on-1, and Shea Ralph with a layup. The assist to Bird. They ran it perfectly. 4 for Shea Ralph to lead back to 13. And now Connecticut can set up its pressure. McDivitt, good job to get through it. They try to get the bounce pass to Jackson, but Pillow threw it away. It's an uncharacteristic lineup Pat Summitt has on the floor right now.
Well, there's no question, but the thing is, Connecticut constantly pushing things up. What they do so well, they release Bird and Ralph down the court. Tennessee has to get somebody back there to cover them because Connecticut, with their 3 players inside, they're getting the defensive boards and they kick it out. That's why they get the ball down the floor so quickly.
Bird, nice entry pass, swing cash with a miss. Offensive rebound to Asia Jones. Had it blocked, got it back. And Tennessee will come out. There's a walk-on catching. She got the rebound, then couldn't keep her balance.
Tamika Catchings is totally frustrated. They are banging her. They're playing physical. Pat Summitt told her coming into this season, look it, they're going to be gunning for you. Shamika Holtzclaw has graduated. You are the All-American. You're going to get banged. You're going to get doubled and triple teamed. You've got to rise above that.
Deep inbounds pass comes to Johnson. Bird lowered the head, got bumped on the way and missed the shot, wanted the foul. Lawson comes back the other way, still looking for her first bucket. Catchings, the All-American junior, trying to ignite her team, and that one is blocked, but the foul will be on Swin Cash.
And that's where Holtzclaw last year was so good at creating one-on-one situations for herself. Catchings is going to have to try and do that.
It's not that Randall and Catchings do not deserve all the praise they have gotten all year, but you're right. When Holtzclaw was there, it's one thing to be part of the three meets, but she was the #1 option.
And then just being named College Player of the Year, you better step up to the plate and play in the big one.
Got the Naismith Award, misses this free throw, and she's a 78% shooter. Tonight, 2 Kodak All-Americans combined for 2 points and 3 rebounds in the first half. And certainly if Tennessee has hopes of a national championship, they are going to have to step up their game in the second half. And she missed both free throws.
You know, and Jay Billis talked about it before the game in the sense of you've got to watch emotions. Maybe they're so high for this game that it's just not clicking. They're playing hard, they're playing intense, but maybe their emotions are so involved in this game that they've got to set back a little bit.
And they had better be careful because UConn has a killer instinct. They're already up by 13.
And this Connecticut team is a team that's never been to the Final Four before, let alone a championship.
Sue Bird got the ball in the backdoor cut, then goes to Asia Jones. Did she get it off in time? She did not. Shot clock violation. Good defensive effort that time by Tennessee.
And the biggest thing, Gino Ariema, hey, we thought we got it off. We got it off, and there you see Shamika Holtzclaw will play on the 2000 Olympic team, and she's saying, come on, you got to be smart. You've got to know what the shot clock says and get a better shot off.
8:40 and counting. That's how long it's been since Tennessee has had a field goal. Jackson double teamed at the baseline. Their defenders wherever they go, and this one is off of Catchings' knee, out of bounds.
What Connecticut is doing defensively, when the ball goes down low, somebody at the top, like Shea Ralph or Sue Bird, if they're up high, they are releasing down for the double team. The person at the post for Tennessee who has received it is not turning quick enough to see the double team, and Tennessee, that person that's open, is not spotting up for them.
You would think that ball has to come back out faster if that's the way they're going to play.
But it shows you that the post players for Tennessee are not very good passers.
That's no basket. Asia Jones fouled on the way in. 13-point lead. Let's check in with Michelle. What do you have, Michelle?
Well, Mike, during yesterday's walkthrough, Pat Summitt told her team, you let Rutgers take the ball out of your hands during the semis. Consider the ball a pot of gold. Don't give it to anybody. Tennessee had 12 first-half turnovers in the semis against Rutgers. They've got more than 10 tonight. Mike, they average 18 a game.
Well, they are not valuing that basketball very much tonight, Michelle. The pot of gold is almost empty here in the first half. Connecticut now has its biggest lead at 25-10. Ira Elzy brings it up. Remember, Tennessee having to play tonight without Kristen Ace Clement, who hurt her ankle during warm-ups this morning. Randall. That's a tough backdoor catch by Catchings, and somehow she got it to go in. Tough pass by Randall. First, I don't know how she caught it. Then I don't know how she made the shot.
Exactly. That was a tough get.
Asia Jones back the other way. Contact, no whistle, missed the shot. Elzy with a rebound.
As much as Connecticut has got this run, believe me, going into halftime, do not count Tennessee out.
A couple of baskets here at the end will make a difference. Catchings drains one. And Tennessee, after suffering through that drought for so long, making a run. 3:27 to go in the half. They've cut the lead to 10. The lead was 15. It's down to 10. And it looks like Tennessee finally got the wake-up call.
Well, Tamika Catchings, we talk about her being College Player of the Year. She's got to get more involved in this game, and her teammates have to look for her. There's a tough bounce pass, exactly how Tamika Randall threaded the needle on that one. And then Catchings looking to get the ball, steps back behind the three. Tennessee has been going to the basket so much that that will eventually open up at that outside shot.
Johnson gives it up to Shea Ralph. Ralph hustles for the loose ball. She and Lawson are now battle on the floor. Again, bodies everywhere. Jump ball situation. It will go to Connecticut on the possession arrow.
Ace Clement cannot play in this game because of the bad angle, but she is right behind her teammates all the way.
25-15, 3:08 to go first half. Back in a moment. No quarter asked, none given in this game. Here's the summary. Field goal shooting UConn 43-17. Tennessee has taken the lead in rebounding, but the Lady Vols still have twice as many turnovers. Still, they're only down by 10 with 3:06 to go first half. They have been down by as many as 15. Johnson tries a three. Shea Ralph, great position inside to get the rebound. Bucket and the foul. It will be number 2 on Tamika Catchings.
Shea Ralph really did a good job on the offensive end. Watch her work to get position fronts against Randall. And hey, when you're in orange, you got to keep that white jersey off. And she's going down. She is, you talk about the emotional player that Tamika Randall is for Tennessee. Well, Shea Ralph is all intensity, emotion for this Connecticut Husky team.
Even when you watch her in warm-ups, when she's running in simple layup drills, she's not lollygagging. It's all total concentration and intensity. Nearly turned it over against the press, and now Lawson wants to set the offense. Tennessee could really use some easy buckets. They have been hard to come by.
Yesterday in practice, Tennessee really worked on what Connecticut does.
Tyra Elzy.
That's one of the things that this Tennessee team can do. Tyra Elzy, one player you wouldn't expect to hit an outside shot, a defensive specialist.
She averages less than 3 a game. She gets her first bucket tonight. There's a tough entry pass from Johnson. Too strong and out of bounds. And the turnover upsets Gino Auriemma as he has seen the lead shrink back to 11 again.
This game definitely, as hot as Connecticut started out, you know, is a game of runs. And Tennessee has been down too many times. Pat Summitt, you know, she's been in the trenches an awful long time.
They have won 4 games this year when they have been down by a dozen or more. But it's tough to come back in a national championship game when you're down as far as they were. Lawson, nice double team by Shea Ralph. Elzy with the last bucket, called for the travel.
Tennessee almost getting only one option off that pass instead of kind of working it around, maybe getting 3, 4, 5 passes in that half-court set.
Bird has been quiet offensively. She only has a couple tonight, and we've seen very little out of Abro Samoa. There is Bird. She has missed 3 long-range shots, and Shea Ralph, I believe, will get the foul call underneath, trying for the offensive rebound.
I think she just got the wind knocked out of her.
And picked up her 3rd foul in the process. Number 3 with 1:33 to go, first half. Your connections to this tournament, and we'll catch you up to date on everything else involving this game and the rest of the world of sports. Tyra Elsie, 4 turnovers in the ball game so far. She was forced to start the game when Ace Clement was hurt in warmups, but she also has 4 points. And they'll get April McDivitt back in the ball game for her. 28-19. How important is it for Tennessee to have this down to double digits at halftime?
Well, no question. Against Texas Tech, they kind of did the same thing. They got into a run when Catchings went down with the injuries. As a matter of fact, in the game against Tennessee, where they won in Connecticut, they went on a run going on into halftime. Gives them a lot of confidence.
And a little weave outside. Bird into the lane, missed the shot. Jackson with a rebound. Well, you can bet Gino Auriemma is going to go into the locker room and say, as well as we played and as much as we outplayed Tennessee in the first half, we ought to be up by 20. Right now, they're only up by 9, and Tennessee has the ball. Lawson trying to beat Bird. Got in the lane. Coming over to block it was Schumacher, and Bird back the other way. Lawson returns the favor and knocks it out of bounds.
You have to love how every player is challenging each other. Kara Lawson takes the ball inside, and Kelly Schumacher is having a big game defensively for this Husky team, and Sue Bird loses it right here, but each player challenging each other.
Only a junior. She is 4th all-time in blocks, and she has 5 tonight. Cash, beautiful jump stop, and then elevated for the jump shot. 4 points for Swin Cash, the lead back to 11.
Remember, Michelle Snow's been out with 2 fouls.
Randall.
Another block.
She has a tendency to drive with her head down, and then she looks up and might be in trouble. Bird back the other way. Nice drive and banks it off the glass. 32-19. 4 for Bird. Can Tennessee get a last shot? Lawson leans into one. Missed everything. Offensive rebound to Randall. Off the glass. Tamika Catchings, the Naismith Player of the Year, held to 5 points, and she had to hit 2 straight shots late to get those. An impressive first half by the #1 team in the country. They lead Tennessee 32-19. Keep in mind, Purdue had a tournament record low 17 points in last year's championship game, and they wore the crown when it was all over. Catchings. LZ baseline drive, blocked again by Schumacher. A career-high 7, and then they throw it away trying to start the break. Catchings comes back the other way. 7 block shots for Kelly Schumacher. Remarkable. Randall.
Another one.
What a job she is doing inside.
And not only 6 block shots, she had 5 rebounds to go along with 4 points in the first half.
And she's just not blocking her own man's shots. She's getting out and taking on everybody. Lawson really forced that shot.
She is now 0 for 8.
Shea Ralph with Lawson back. And Connecticut moves the lead back out to 15, matching the largest of the ball game.
Here in the beginning of the game, we talked about Carol Lawson taking over at this point guard position and her poise. Well, she has gotten rattled. It's a game that she has wanted since she was a little girl playing football in D.C. She's a tough, hard-nosed player. She's got a lot of power, a lot of strength, but she's got to think in this game and be more selective.
Catchings likes that drive from the left wing down the lane. She's fouled on the way in. And it will be the second personal on Swin Cash. Lawson last summer lifted weights and shot between 600 and 700 shots a day to get ready for her freshman year at Tennessee. She can't buy one tonight. Ralph with another rebound. Abrosimova, great job just to get that ball under control. Then she backs out for a 3, rimmed out on her. Abrosimova only had 2 in the first half.
She was on the bench with foul trouble, 2 personal fouls. Gino Auriemma set her most of the first half.
Both of these teams are young and both have remarkable recruiting classes coming in. Lawson will come out of the ball game to talk to Pat Summitt. April McDivitt is in. She is 0 for 9 from the floor. Abrosimova, nice entry pass to Swin Cash. Couldn't hit it. Catching gives it up to McDivitt.
There's a mismatch if you ever saw one. And Abrosimova at 6'2" on McDivitt.
Randall gets a screen, goes to the left hand. McDivitt, good outside shooter. Tried to use the glass on that one. Loose ball. Here comes Connecticut. 3-on-1. Ralph, great job to go to the middle. Then Abrosimova missed a shot, but Cash has the offensive rebound, and she's fouled.
Good defense by April McDivitt to get back. A 3-on-1 break that Shea Ralph should have set it up. She got going too fast and did not split this. Watch her take it too deep. All she has to do is stop at the free throw line to find out where April McDivitt was going to go. She could have taken a free throw shot.
Foul on Randall, her first, non-shooting, and they'll inbound. It's a tough pass for Schumacher to handle. Elsie, Sue Bird got in the way, offensive foul. Tremendous defense by Sue Bird.
Well, Jay Billis mentioned Coach Wooden saying, be quick but don't hurry. And when you're in a break situation, stop at the free throw line. You have to be under control. That's one of the things that, again, Coach Wooden always talked about, being under control. When you're going too fast, you're going to make mistakes.
Abrosimova tried to force that pass inside. Fortunately for Connecticut, they got it back. Schumacher being hounded by Snow as Tennessee trying to pick up the defensive intensity. And Shea Ralph with that little leaner in the lane hits it and is fouled. And Mom loves it.
This Connecticut team's got players out there that, even size-wise, it's hard to say whether they're a point guard or a two guard or a three guard. And Shea Ralph, using that left hand, being able to penetrate and get the edge on the defensive player, likes it a lot.
First team Associated Press All-American this year. Conference Player of the Year. Missed the free throw, but an offensive rebound to Abrosimova. Schumacher having the game of her life. (38-19). Randall, poor pass, picked off by Ralph. Tennessee is really shaken. Ralph trying to beat Nia Butts to the corner and can't do it. Abrosimova, great cut, and the great pass for the easy layup. The lead is 21. The Connecticut fans come to their feet. Their team rolling toward a national championship. 16:53 to go, and right now Connecticut making it look easy.
Communication eliminates confusion. Michelle Snow, the senior, does not say that there's a pick by Schumacher coming, and then she stands there, does not even help, does not even know what's happening on the wing side. So Gino Auriemma likes the way that play is run, but I tell you, Pat Summitt certainly doesn't.
Lawson, a behind-the-back dribble, can't take advantage of it. She got to the top of the circle. And that's kicked. That'll be a fresh 30 seconds on the shot clock. We have played 3 minutes and 23 seconds in the second half. Tennessee has not scored. They are 0 for 8 from the floor. They need points, and they need them in a hurry. Just like that, a three-pointer from Tamika Catchings. The Tennessee press has not troubled Connecticut very much tonight. Schumacher had that pass tipped, and then Shea Ralph, in the fight for the loose ball, is fouled by April McDivitt.
It was a good backdoor move. Connecticut had the wide-open layup. The ball was tipped, though, defensively by Tennessee, even though they get called for the foul.
Schumacher will get a nice hand as she comes out. Look at the field goal. Tennessee in the first half, 19%, 1 for 7 in the second half.
And I think another key is, Gino Auriemma said going into halftime, they have kept Tennessee off the free throw line. Yes, they shot more free throws than Connecticut. They were 8 to 12 compared to 1 to 1 for Connecticut. But you know what? If you can keep a team like the Lady Vols off the free throw line because they're physical, they're aggressive, they get the ball inside and create fouls. And if you can keep them out of foul trouble, it enables Gino Auriemma to play his players.
And Randall and Catchings, when they are fouled, are both excellent shooters from the stripe. 16-11 to go in the ball game. Connecticut has extended this lead to 18 points. Rosamova gets a good screen at the top of the circle. That's a tough shot. Offensive rebound, though, will draw another foul.
Connecticut really doing a good job getting inside position on the offensive boards. Tennessee again struggling. Tennessee probably doesn't have in the past like they have had with players that have been wide bodies where they've always controlled the boards. They're a little bit more slender this year, where Connecticut's got some bulky players out there.
That was the third foul on Catchings. Free throw is good, and is Asia Jones a great player to bring in off the bench? She averages 11.8 points and 4.5 rebounds in the tournament.
And a big game against Penn State, 16.7 rebounds and 2 assists.
She has 8 points tonight, and again, we're up to 20. Snow, bad pass, but tipped back to McDivitt. She tries to calm down her teammates.
You see Michelle Snow just got knocked on that pick and roll. She just got banged out of there.
Lawson, nice move all the way down the baseline under the basket and gets her first bucket of the game. Averages nearly 14.
That's what makes Jones so tough to guard. At her size 6'2", she can shoot that high post shot, which a lot of players will have a tendency to back off on.
She's got excellent range on the shot. Lawson tries to get in. The bounce pass is kicked. We've got a timeout on the court with 15-17 to go from Philadelphia, the women's national championship. UConn rolling. Connecticut by 20 with 15 minutes, 17 seconds to go from the First Union Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for the national championship. We have talked about the Philly connection coming back here to play the national championship. Certainly Gino Auriemma grounded in this area and moved to Norristown. The family did when he was 7. Attended high school here, went to Westchester, then came back to be an assistant high school coach and an assistant coach at St. Joe's. Let's go to Michelle Tafoya right now. Michelle?
Well, Mike, as Gino Auriemma walked into the tunnel at halftime, his mother, Marcy, leaned over the railing and doused him, his players, and the team managers with holy water. Her son's team is playing real well, Mike, but a little holy water can never hurt anyone.
Can never hurt, and they've extended their lead in the second half. This may start a trend.
I'm sure they all went to church today, too.
Catching for 3. Got it. Big shot.
She's hit 3 3-pointers for Tennessee to keep trying to get them back into this game.
And you just know the National Player of the Year is not going to lie down and take it. Asia Jones, bodies fly, no whistle. Shea Ralph goes for the steal and gets it.
Shea Ralph doesn't just score points. She comes up with big steals. She had 4 in the first half.
So even when Tennessee does something that they think they've really got an advantage, somebody turns around for Connecticut and makes a play. That foul will be on Sue Bird. That's her second.
Again, Tennessee talked about this in practice as far as Connecticut, when Tennessee starts to bring the ball up the floor or any opponent against Connecticut, all of a sudden they'll turn around and go after the ball because you automatically think in your mind, oh, Connecticut's going back down on the defensive end.
Check that last foul. It was on McDivitt, not Bird. And Bird will check into the ball game, and Kenitra Johnson The freshman from New Albany, Indiana, will get a rest, and Gino Auriemma has made very good use of his bench tonight. Asia Jones lost that one, and it's off Tennessee out of bounds with 14:31 on the clock. And another easy bucket off the inbounds play. Tamika Williams takes the pass and puts it in.
You really like to see a team on the offensive end to be able to execute an out-of-bounds play.
46-27. Jackson forced that one up against Asia Jones' defense. Couldn't hit it, and here comes UConn again. Shea Ralph backdoor cut, great pass. Asia Jones, a beautiful bounce pass, great cut. Shea Ralph has 13, and it's 21 points again. This is a clinic.
I tell you, the eyes are working for Connecticut as far as looking for that backdoor. When you have that aggressive defense, hey, just make the cuts, and their teammates are looking for him.
Randall goes baseline, and that, did they call the offensive foul or out of bounds? Out of bounds.
Good screens right here. McDivitt too late coming over. Catchings, everybody kind of Tennessee not seeing who's behind them. You've got to talk to each other. There's a nice back door by Shea Ralph and Marcy Auriemma. 11 what's happening to the Huskies.
18 turnovers committed by Tennessee tonight. They are down by 21, and when you're down this far, even 13:38 on the clock looks bad. Abrosimova loves the open court. Great pass back from Shea Ralph for the layup. And this is the biggest lead of the game, 23. They are dismantling the Lady Vols.
They ran through that press like a sieve.
Tremendous execution. Catchings gives it up to Randall, who has been a non-factor. Hits that one inside the line. She has 4 points.
That's her first field goal in this game. And Connecticut has the luxury of kind of spreading things out a little bit. What a
pass, what a catch, and the foul. You know, and with a lead like this, you would think Connecticut is going to be one of the best teams in the country at being able to protect it, because they've got Abrosimova, Bird, and Ralph, all of whom can handle the ball as well as point guards.
And Pat Summitt's got to go with April McDivitt, who's a ball handler, but at 5'7", 5'8", they lift her at 5'8". I don't know if she's that big, but she's on Abrosimova, and at 6'2", that enables Abrosimova to use the mismatch to get the ball inside like that. There's where you miss an Ace Clement with her defensive ability to be able to go out there on players like that, and at 5'11", she creates not only the defensive edge, offensively she can score, but the emotion. She is able to settle this team down and make a difference as far as when they're out on the floor and kind of in disarray.
Points in the paint, Connecticut just murdering Tennessee, 30-11. And certainly if there is a cruel twist of fate, Ace Clement is the poster child for that tonight. Set the Catholic League scoring record, scored more points in high school than Wilt Chamberlain did. Highly recruited. And then on the morning of the national championship game, she has a severely sprained ankle in practice. Sometimes life is not fair. Abrosimova, another great cut. Kenitra Johnson with the assist. Abrosimova has 11, and it is 54-29. Connecticut rolling toward a national championship. Catchings, dribbling around a double team. Pillow. It's a tough pass to handle for Randall. She cracks it down in the corner. Another block. Schumacher having a brilliant night. 9 blocked shots. 3 too strong from Johnson. And Gino Auriemma stopping his feet over there. I don't think he liked that quick shot. The clock is his friend.
He wants to run it down just a little bit more.
Elsie. And it's a travel. Kelly Schumacher blocking virtually everything she has seen tonight. She stuffs an All-American on that one. Connecticut putting on a splendid performance. They lead at 54-29. There is always an unsung hero, and we have one tonight.
No question, Kelly Schumacher, the 6'5" junior, is 3 of 3 from the floor, but most importantly, she has set the tone defensively for the Huskies. She is not letting anything come in the lane against this Tennessee team. A tournament record 9 block shots.
The most ever blocked before in a championship game was 5. She needs 2 more to tie the all-time tournament record.
I was reading some quotes by her today in the articles, and she was saying, I'm just going to come out and play hard. You know, she did not start in the 2 Tennessee games this year. Paige Sauer was the starting center, and she played okay. She had 6 points, 2 points, and 0 points. Not really a factor at all. She's really taken it upon herself to play tough in this game.
Gino Auriemma upset as Abrosimova threw that one away. And again, they didn't execute their offense very well. McDivitt, good outside shooter, buries the 3. 54-32. And certainly Tennessee has the offensive firepower to get back in this game.
And Tennessee going into a zone.
Abrosimova passed on an open shot that time at the baseline. Swin Cash got the roll.
Well, Pat Summitt trying to create something defensively to make Connecticut kind of think a little bit more. They adjusted very well to the zone that time.
McDivitt running the offense. Can't get inside, picked up the dribble. Catchings, blocked again by Schumacher. Boy, that looked like all ball.
Most
And the referee,
certainly
Sally
did.
Bell, really staring her down when she said something.
Boom. How do you not call all ball?
That's a block.
That's
She won't get
10.
credit for it.
That's number 10 right there.
Boy, the crowd really on the official for that call.
Well, and for Tennessee, that's what Michelle Snow has to do. She's got 2 fouls in this game. There's 10 minutes left, 10 and a half minutes left. Hey, you got to go all for it. I don't care if I get my 5 fouls. The way she's playing, it really doesn't matter. So she's got to make a difference and be a little bit more aggressive in this game for the Lady Vols.
Catchings hits the first free throw. Well, a lot of people thought Connecticut was the stronger team coming into this game, but I don't think anybody envisioned a 56-33 score at this point.
Not at all. I read the articles, and out of 35 writers, 30 of them picked Connecticut with all close games. There were no blowouts. And then the 5 that picked Tennessee, still a close game.
Gino Auriemma says run the offense. Abrosimova guarded by Randall. Lazy pass by Abrosimova. Lawson with the steal. And when you start to try to take time off the clock, sometimes you get a little sloppy, and right now Connecticut's doing just that.
They talked yesterday about breaking the press. You've got to attack Connecticut, and that's what they've got to continue to do.
Backdoor cut Abrosimova. That time they did. How many times have they succeeded on that play tonight? 58-36.
Tennessee not getting any weak side help. They're so concerned about where their player is, they don't see where the ball is. They've got to help out defensively.
Nice steal by Williams.
And Catchings knocking Pat Summitt down.
Asia Jones fouled before the shot, and now elbows exchanged.
Well, Michelle Snow doing the talking, and there was some bumping, but you know what? I'd be doing some talking if it was a hard foul, if it was a good foul. It was kind of a nothing foul to be caught on. I love her intensity, though. She plays so tough. I think she's struggling in this game. And you'll see the ball get inside. Nice pass. And there, the arm kind of flew around. Something was said. She pushed, Michelle Snow pushed her own player away.
Snow picks up her third. And Asia Jones will go to the free throw line.
Would you say there's no love lost between these two teams?
Oh, I don't think so. Jones misses the free throw. Look at the Huskies hustle for that rebound. And that's a travel.
But what a nice play, though. They looked for the back door. Everybody dropped on it defensively that time for Tennessee, and it left a wide open lane for Williams.
Now, Connecticut is going to press, and as much as anything, this is to force Tennessee to take some time off the clock. Lawson down the lane, nice move to get free and got the roll. Lawson has 6. And Tennessee is going to get a warning for knocking the ball away after the basket.
Michelle Snow, she was called for a technical in Tennessee on the loss that the Lady Vols had on their home court. And they were making a comeback, and she was so excited about fouling Paige Sauer out, threw the ball down and got called for a technical. Oh, they had the back door again.
Well, they sure did, and they get it inside. Basket, good by Tamika Williams. Williams had been wide open, as Ann pointed out. Then they covered her up, and she got it back again. Jones gets a piece of that one. Rosamova, nice job to avoid McDivitt. Jones, 15-footer. Lawson comes back the other way.
Lawson's the leading rebounder on this Tennessee team.
Brosamova with the reach in, knocks the ball away and then dives out of bounds trying to save it. That's great play.
It really is, but you know what? A perfect example, Mike, as far as Tennessee not communicating. Lawson has somebody behind her. Her teammates are not telling her what is going on.
Absolutely. And while you're responsible for being aware of where other players on the court, there are times you need help.
I'd be a little frustrated. If I'm the guard coming down and nobody's talking to me, tell me they're there. Oh, nice hands by Shea Ralph.
She reached in and knocked it away from Randall. .7:59 and counting in the national championship game. The lead is still 22. Wide open underneath for the bucket. Swin Cash. They've gotten so many great looks inside tonight.
They have spread their offense and have had great cuts going to the basket. Defensively, Tennessee has been in another zone. Not a good one.
No. Hold by Swin Cash. That's going to be her third personally.
The worst loss they had this year was against Georgia. Tennessee lost by 26 in that game.
Right now, they are down by 24, and there's only 7 minutes and 37 seconds left to go. They have played great position and execution basketball. Welcome back to Philadelphia, everybody. Of course, Tennessee has been a dynasty for quite a while under Pat Summitt. You would have to say for Gino Auriemma and Connecticut, if they win tonight, you can certify them as a dynasty with what they've won since '95, what they have coming back, and the recruiting class they have coming in.
Well, I agree. Not too many coaches have won 2 national championships. This would be the second for Connecticut and Gino Auriemma. Linda Sharp back in '83 and '84 at USC. Tara Vanderveer at Stanford in 1992. Those were NCAA tournaments, but there are others that have captured it with the AIAW also. Louisiana Tech with Sonia Hogan, Leon Barmore.
Right.
You've got Marianne Stanley had 3 at Old Dominion.
Brosamova draws the foul from Snow. These two teams, for the most part, have dominated the decade of the 90s. Tennessee winning 89.5% of its games. Connecticut 86.7%. 4 national titles to 1. Weeks number 1, Tennessee, a remarkable 64 weeks as the #1 team in the country. But the All-Americans, very, very close, 14-10.
And Gino Auriemma is kind of a rookie coach. He's only been coaching 15 years. And there on the left, you see Jen Rosati, one of the great point guards here at Connecticut, and Rebecca Lobo, another All-American right there with Shamika Hoskall from Tennessee.
Abrosimova misses the second free throw, offensive rebound, and that's the first thing she hasn't done perfectly tonight. Kelly Schumacher with a miss. Snow, an option they had gone away from, and that one's knocked out of bounds off of Connecticut.
But I really like how Connecticut has handled everybody sharing the basketball.
Snow puts this one up, and she is fouled by Schumacher.
And Michelle Snow wanted to foul earlier on Shea Ralph, and her frustration, her emotions sometimes get the better of her. And if she can keep everything in check, she's going to be a dynamite player. Her first game against Connecticut, she had 21 points and 12 rebounds, and she can dominate. She has the ability to do that.
But boy, when she has gotten the ball tonight, the help has come in a hurry.
And, you know, really, if you look at the Connecticut team, I remember Gino Auriemma saying when they went 35-0 in '95, he talked about his centers, Rebecca Lobo and Carol Walters, and they got 5 assists from the post-play position. As a post player, you have to be able to pass the ball because of how teams will double and triple team you.
And I would just guess that Snow does not have an assist tonight. She has been just overwhelmed as they have gone after with the double team. 63-39, under 7 minutes to go. Abrosimova got the great pass from Shea Ralph, but that is tremendous defense inside by Tennessee, and Abrosimova was drilled with the ball as Catchings trying to save it went up and just got it right in the noggin.
And I tell you, the memories come back of when last year Randall and Abrosimova went down on the floor, and the Connecticut fans saying, boo! And that's Samika Randall. That became her nickname.
Well, that's a great play. First, she blocks the shot, gets the loose ball. And, I mean, you're just aiming at anything in white. I mean, if she was aiming at her head and hit it, I mean, more power to her.
And it's great hustle by Randall. But you know what? You right there, you see the foot land on the ground before she does throw it out. So it's an out-of-bounds play, really, for Connecticut. Good call by the officials.
Abrosimova is tough.
She's gonna have a little headache afterwards.
Yeah, she won't mind.
That's right.
Cash, very athletic player. And this will be a reach-in foul. If it's called on Catchings, it's her 4th.
You can really see the frustration by Tennessee. Tamika Catchings just saying, hey, I'm swiping at the ball, I'm not touching anything. And I think the Lady Vols are frustrated with the calls because Connecticut has gotten themselves to the free throw line.
Cash hits the first, she'll get another. She's been very consistent all year and during the tournament, averaging between 9 and 10 points a game the entire season. Misses the second one, LZ with a rebound, and Cash will commit the foul. That is the last thing that Gino Auriemma wanted to see, allowing Tennessee to score with a clock
stop. Look at the sub come.
Yeah.
Don't make mistakes like that.
And Swin Cash will get to sit down next to Gino with 6:36 to go in this game, but they are up 64-39. Can't say enough about Schumacher tonight. She's been brilliant.
Oh, she really has. She has, as I said, I really think she set the tone in this game defensively for how Tennessee, what was going to happen to them inside the paint.
Abrosimova will come back in the ball game. Shea Ralph will come out.
Gino Auriemma talked about having this many players to play. He said, you know, defensively, it is great because our players are fresh by the end of the game. The other teams, they don't have these kind of players, so they're going to be tired. They're going to make mistakes. Their legs are exhausted. So we are fresh on the defensive end. Where it hurts playing these many players is that offensively, sometimes you don't click.
And, of course, they lost Ace Clement, who would have gotten a significant number of minutes tonight. That was knocked away from Abrosimova, but it's picked up by Johnson.
And Kenitra Johnson being very aware that she had beaten Randall and then was watching for her.
Oh, great passing. Johnson to Bird, and then Bird with the entry pass. Her 7th assist for the easy layup. It is 66-39. The Tennessee players are going to see that one in their nightmares tonight.
All night long, the Connecticut Huskies have been really running in a clinic against the Tennessee defense, which Tennessee is known for their defense. Look at back doors all night long, bounce passes. How many times do you get to see kids throw bounce passes? You'd like to see more of it thrown, and Connecticut is doing a wonderful job tonight. The worst loss that Tennessee has had in their program was back in 1984 against Texas. Jody Conrad's team, winning as coach in women's basketball, they were beat by 31 points.
Did you see the number of assists? 19-5 tonight. And
this is a team that averages over 20 assists. The only team that beat them in assists this year was Penn State.
A pair of free throws makes it 66-41. Catching's now up to 15 points. She averaged 15-7 during the season and almost 17 during the tournament.
And she's going to have to get that three-point shot going in this with these 5 minutes left.
You call Lawson for a bump before the shot.
You know, Sue Bird and Carol Lawson played each other back in the AAU days when they were in 5th and 6th grade. It was Susie Q and pigtails. That's what Carol Lawson wore all the time, with the braided pigtails.
Still 5:38 to go in this one. UConn up by 25, and it would take something of a miracle to get Tennessee back in this game. They will virtually have to make every shot the rest of this contest. When we're done here, SportsCenter coming your way. Stay tuned for that. Lawson will bring it up, 67-41. Every pass, every shot contested. Catchings on the way in, and she's fouled before the shot.
What's made it really difficult also for Tennessee is their entry passes. Connecticut is overplaying, and Tennessee is not able to take advantage of any kind of situation to roll off that defense or to look back door, because defensively Connecticut is really helping out. Stacey Hansmeyer, the senior, and I'm sure Paige Sauer, a senior on this Connecticut team, looking to get some playing time.
That's what the ovation is for. She waits at the scorer's table. Hansmeyer from Norman, Oklahoma, 6'1" senior, with a huge smile on her face as she checks into the ballgame.
She was a freshman in 1997, and 2 years before, Connecticut went to the Final Four, so this is her first time.
Jones. Bird, fortunately for Connecticut, bounces back to the Huskies and blows them over. 5 on the shot clock now. Jones, good head fake to get in the air, but she missed the shot.
Gino Ariema is saying, what kind of offense was that?
It's the kind that's put up a 25-point lead so far.
Good double team by Connecticut.
Catchings has to get rid of it, and that's the one player they want to get out of her hands. Shot clock down to 7. Lawson leans into one. That's a tough shot. She couldn't hit it. Randall trying to keep it alive, and there's a foul underneath.
Well, with some of those blocks that Connecticut has as a team, they probably would have a record if they don't already. Kelly Schumacher with 9.
9 blocks, a championship game record. She's also come through with 6 points and 6 rebounds. And when you have somebody step up like that, it really inspires the other players.
Well, it really does, because everybody's looking at the All-Americans and the players that had such good games the game before, like Bird and Lawson. And sometimes it takes pressure off a player like that and say, hey, nobody's expecting anything from me. I'll try it.
And they're holding Tennessee to a staggering 28% shooting percentage in this game.
And Samika Randall only with 6 points, 1 field goal in this game.
Pass too high for Jones. Here comes Elsie. 4:06 to go in the game. 23-point difference. Smith Snow. This time moves away from the double team. Randall, offensive rebound. Elsie, offensive rebound. 67-46, a half dozen for Kyra Elsie, who started and played tonight for Ace Clement. Shea Ralph, guess what? Another backdoor cut. And Hansmeyer with an excellent pass that time.
That's off that weak side screen. Very patient. Tennessee still has not read it, and they've not given any weak side help at all during this game.
Tennessee trying to run exactly the same set here with no success. Catching skip pass knocked away by Bird. 69-46, UConn after a national title. Talented people, certainly. She had the 3 Meeks as they won those 3 consecutive national championships. There's Shamiqua. But Connecticut is off to a heck of a start in this decade.
Hey, Gino Auriemma, Coach of the Year, 3-time Coach of the Year. And he's done it with, yes, a lot of talent. People think, well, you should get it with the talent you have. But, you know, you go back to like the Lakers and Pat Riley and Jackson with the Bulls, and they didn't get Coaches of the Year because people expected it with the talent.
One of the great things he has been able to do, certainly he has talent on this team, but he has made them all conscious of their role and the fact that if nobody is selfish and they all play to their roles, they can win a national championship. And you know what? He was dead right. They have done it. And there's Paige Sauer, and that'll get a tremendous ovation from the Connecticut bench and the stands as the 6'5" senior gets her first bucket of the championship game.
You really can't say enough about those bounce passes.
Oh, they've been splendid. The ability to pass the ball, I think, has been the key to every Connecticut game I have seen this year. They are exceptional passers.
And they've taken care of the basketball in this game. In the beginning of the game, Tennessee really struggled. They had 12 turnovers in that first half.
And these kids are so mentally tough as well. I mean, they don't want to just beat Tennessee tonight like every other opponent they faced this year. They want to clobber, and right now they're doing it, 71-48.
It just fuels the fire for more games against these 2 teams.
Yes, it does. And you've got to hand it to both of these programs for willing to play a home-and-home series during the season.
You know, that's really important. And going back and reading about when this first started, ESPN was looking for a game on that date, and North Carolina was a national champion. They didn't want to go back to Connecticut and play. And Tennessee stepped up, and that's the one thing Pat Summitt has always done, is promoted the game of women's basketball.
The celebration has begun in Philadelphia with 1:33 to go in the game. Catchings at the line.
Pat Summitt all season long wore a Duke jersey, t-shirt and shorts, running to get in shape, to get her team to the Final Four. A reminder that Duke was the team that knocked them out last year. I wonder if she'll be wearing Connecticut.
We'll see next year. Sue Bird, Abrosimova, and Shea Ralph check out of the ballgame. Christine Rigby is in for the first time, and Gino Auriemma hugging each one of his starters as they come out. They know they've got it wrapped up now. Shea Ralph, quite a game tonight. 15 points. She had 7 of 8 shots from the floor, 7 assists, and 6 steals. Sports Center coming up following our broadcast. Only 1:24 to go in this one.
We talked so much about what Schumacher did inside. Hey, I tell you, on the outside, Shea Ralph was tough. She had her hands all over the ball on the perimeter.
Turnover taken away by Christine Rigby. She gets the loose ball. 1 minute to play for the national championship, and the UConn fans will be on their feet the rest of this ball game.
Well, the players are smiling out there. Stacey Hansmeyer had that grin ear to ear, and a tough game for Michelle Snow. And the Tennessee bench, they've got nothing to hang their heads about because they season, making it to the finals after they were gone last year.
Well, they'll finish 33-4. Just a remarkable record, but UConn will top them. They will finish 36-1.
Gino Auriemma said, hey, that loss we had to Tennessee, if you had asked me then, I did not like that loss. But you know what? You asked me now going into the tournament, I was happy because it took the pressure off me and the team from the media being undefeated.
Junior center Kelly Schumacher, our Nike player of the game. 6 points, 6 boards, and 9 huge block shots. An NCAA championship game record. Our congratulations to her, as well as her UConn teammates who stepped up in a game where they had to step up and did the job. Marcy Zell, number 13, is also in the ballgame as Gino Auriemma has cleared his bench. Kirsten Walters, the only player that was on the roster without an opportunity to play because she had to redshirt this year after knee surgery, so she will have to wait for a run at a national championship till next season.
As you said, they've got everybody back. Good recruiting year as Tennessee and a lot of other teams.
Yes, sir. Jackson. That's the beauty of this game. The talent being spread. There's more talent for one thing, and being spread around to more schools. But right now, these are the 2 premier programs in women's basketball. McDivitt with a great play to save that ball, and then Lawson gets the assist to Jackson for the layup. Kenitra Johnson just trying to dribble out the clock. And Connecticut has done it. They have won the national championship here in Philadelphia.
Both teams, when they lost early in the season, said, this isn't March. This isn't March. But boy, when it came, it's April now. The Connecticut Huskies were ready. Tennessee might have been hurt by Ace Clement. I don't think it would have made much difference in this game the way the Huskies played.
You hope going into a championship game you will play your best. I think the Huskies can say tonight we played our best, and they win at 71-52.